Okay, we're going to look at that property investing enrichment. So if you're in green group and you look like you're getting to the end of page 58, we're going to look at property investing enrichment. Page 58. Okay, so many investors use interest-only loans to buy shares or property. This is where the principal stays constant and only the interest is paid back each month. Sasha buys an investment property for $300,000 and borrows a full percent at 7%. Simple interest. She rents out the property for $1,500. So this is separate information. All right. $1,500 per month is rent, and it costs $3,000 a year in rates. $3,000 a year in rates. So this here, that's an expense, isn't it? That's money going out. Okay. This is money coming in, and her loan is an expense. And so what people try and do is they try and say, well, if this is my expense for my loan, and this is my expense for rates and that, I want my rent to try and cover all of that. Alright, that's what people try and achieve. Find the amount of interest Sasha needs to pay back every month. Okay, so how would you go about that? How did you go about that, Jared? Okay, yep. Would be, we're trying to find the interest amount that they pay back every month, yeah? So we'll try and use the simple interest formula. That's all we can sort of operate off. PRT over 100. We're trying to find this here, yeah? That's what we don't know, all right? Our principal is what? Alan? 300,000. And what's our rate? 7%. And what's our T? How long are we going to keep it in there for, or what do they want to know? 1 month. 1 month out of 12. Because remember, we do it as a year. This T is represented as a year. So 1 divided by 12 virtually is the way we want to do this. So if we clear that, 1 divide 12, that's 0.0833. Okay, and this will give us interest every month. You alright with that, the 3 of you or the 4 of you that I'm talking to? Yep. So the interest will be 300,000, whoops, times by the 7 divide 100 times by 0.0833. And so 300,000 times 0.07 times 0.0833, as many threes as we want. And so what we're paying every month is $1,749.99, so $1,750. We're paying that every month to pay off this $300,000 loan. Does that make sense? Are you okay with that? Yep. $1,750 per month. Alright. Find Sasha's yearly income from rent. That shouldn't be too much problem. You should be able to do that, alright? By considering the other costs in keeping the property, what will Sasha's overall loss be in the year? Okay, so how would you go about this, Ellen? Times that by 12. That'll give you your total income. It was 1,500. I didn't miss one off, did I? Yeah, 1,500 times 12 will give you what our income is for the year. So income is 18,000. Okay, this is per month. This is income for year. Okay, ideally you want this discounting this, don't you? Wouldn't you? Jared, do you understand what I'm saying there? No. So what I'm saying there is you're paying the bank $1,750 every month. All right? $1,750 every month. So that means you're paying them $21,000 every year to have this $300,000. You're paying them $21,000 each year. Okay? You're getting $18,000 back in rent. Okay? Are you making a loss or a profit so far? Of how much? You're making a loss, that's right, Riley. Of how much? Of 3,000. Do you understand that, Jaden? Ellen and Jared, do you understand that you're making a loss of 3,000? Because you're paying that to the bank every year, you're only getting that much back in rent. Yeah? So at the moment you're making a loss of 3,000. Okay? But on top of that you're having to pay this in rates. That's another expense. So you can gradually work out what your total expenses are for the year. Yeah? So it's about, I call it stretching your brain to sort of, you know, we can all do I equals PRT questions over 100, but this is about using that information in a real life setting. So by considering the other costs and in keeping the property, what will Sasha's overall loss be for the year? And I've sort of explained it, but I'm not going to give you everything. Sasha hopes that the property's value will increase enough to cover any cost she is making. By what percentage of the original price will the property need to increase in value per year? So that's a challenging question, alright? And that's about saying, this is the original cost. If we take it from the increased cost of the property and divide it by the original cost, times it by 100, we should get a percentage of the how much we have to increase it by as a result of the original cost. So we're going back to that percentage stuff that we did some weeks ago. Okay, so really stretching your mind on these questions. That's what enrichment's about. The original cost is 300,000, that's right. Yep. Okay. So any questions with that?
Would the increase cost be 21,000?
Well, you want to try and cover everything so you don't make a loss, I think, is what they're trying to get you to be. So you have to increase or decrease some stuff. Alright? If you can do ABC, then you're sitting pretty. Alright? If you can understand ABC. Any questions with that? Or any? So page 52, question 14. Arrange the following workers in the order of the most to least earned in a week of work. Okay? Now, if any of you that I've identified have done that and did it easy, then go on with the other learning. I don't mind about that. But I just wanted to step you through this. Jared, you might as well listen because you'll get to it eventually. Alright? So what we're trying to work there is arrange the following workers in the order of the most to the least earned in a week. So what we're trying to do with every one of these salaries or income is to convert it to a weekly salary or income. Alright? So when Adam has an annual salary of $33,384, how do we convert that to a weekly income? We would divide it by 52 because that's how much he earns in the whole year. So we would divide by 52. Alright, that's dot point 1. You're okay with that, Cheyenne? Yep, cool. The next one is Bill, and he works 26 hours at a rate of $22.70. He works 26 hours at a rate of $22.70. that would give you what they earn in a week. 26 hours is what he's going to earn in a week. Alright, so what you're trying to do is you're trying to get an answer in a week, per week, and this answer would be per week. Yeah, you're trying to get them all in per week. Kate earns, so next one is Kate earns $2,964 per month. What would we have to do with that 2,964? What would we have to do with that, do you reckon? Jess Manners, are you with us or are you doing something else? Yep. What do you reckon we'd have to do with that where Kate earns something per month? We could divide by 4. We could. It'll give you a slightly out answer, that's the only thing. What we try and do is we try and build it up to a full year and then reduce it down to a week. So we would times it by 12, that would give us per year, Jess, and then what would we have to do with it? We want to get it per week. How many weeks in a year? Yeah, so we divide it by 52. By doing this, we would multiply it by 12, we'd get it how much they're earning for a year, so we'd get something like that, and then we'd have to divide it by 52. Alright, and that would again give us an answer per week. So at the moment we can start comparing them, can't we? Because they're all in per week. You can't compare apples and oranges, you can compare apples and apples. Diana does shift work. Diana does shift work 4 days of the week between 10 and 4. She earns $19.90 per hour before midnight and $27.50 per hour after midnight. So she does this 4 times a week. How many hours are there between 10 and midnight? There are 2 hours. There are 2 hours. How many times is she doing it? 4. And she's getting paid $19.90 for that. So all up, she's got 8 hours times $19.90, hasn't she? Plus, how would the next bit look, Jess Manners? 4. 4 times 4. 4 hours. 4 hours is between 12 and 4 a.m. And she's doing it over 4 days. And we're timesing that by our $27.50. And when we get all of that, we'll give a value of per week. Good stuff. Per week, per week, per week, per week. We've got them all so far in per week. That's what we have to do. Last dot point. Ed works 18 hours at the normal rate of pay, 6 hours at time and a half, and 4 hours at double time. Cheyenne, what working out would I do on my calculator if I was to calculate this? 18. Yep. 18 hours. Jess, so?
Would it be 18, 20?
18 times 18, 20. Yes, it would. Because we're working 18 hours at the normal rate. So 18 times 18, 20. Yeah?
Yeah. And then the
Plus.
time and a half.
Yep.
6 hours.
6 hours.
And then double time.
Hang on, what would I do with the 6 hours at time and a half? What buttons would I press on my calculator there, Michaela? 6 times 1.5 times 1820. We're getting one time and a half. We're getting time and a half of our normal hourly rate. So we times that by 1.5. Is that alright? Yep. Jared, is that alright? This is the first time you're seeing some of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then what would we do for double time? 4 hours at double time. Jared?
4 times.
4 hours times